Al Capone's dangerous rival. A career that ended in the electric chair. Charles Frankhy was one of the most notorious American criminals of his time. He specialized in armed robberies of banks, postal vehicles, and jewelry stores. Contemporary newspapers praised his nerve, composure, and ability to make split-second decisions. In Europe, his name was barely known. In the United States, however, his notoriety was compared even to that of Al Capone. Frankhy first attracted national attention in 1926. In broad daylight on one of New York's busiest streets, he robbed a bank and escaped with $360,000. Less than 6 weeks later, he struck again. This time, he attacked a postal vehicle in Brooklyn and took another $55,000. He also carried out a series of robberies against major jewelry stores. According to the newspaper account, after only 5 months of criminal activity, Frankhy had become a millionaire. He then began thinking about leaving crime behind. He planned a long journey through Europe, followed by a quiet life away from danger. He never got the chance. Police arrested him at his luxurious Manhattan villa just as he was preparing to leave. A New York court sentenced him to 8 years in prison. He was sent to Sing Sing. It seemed his career was over. Instead, after only 6 months, Frankhy escaped. The circumstances were extraordinary. Even afterwards, nobody knew exactly how he had managed to climb a prison wall said to be 18 meters high without seriously injuring himself. His escape turned him into a national sensation. Major newspapers published his photograph. Thousands of wanted notices were distributed. Special agents were assigned to the search. But Frankhy had vanished, without a trace. At the same time, a new wave of bank robberies spread across America. Suspicion fell almost automatically on him, although the police could not prove that he was responsible. Some robberies were reported on the same day in cities hundreds of miles apart, including New York and Chicago. Clearly, not every crime could have been committed by one man, yet Frankhy's name kept appearing. One incident revealed just how calm he could remain under pressure. During a robbery at a small bank, an alarm was raised and people rushed into the building, followed by police officers. Frankhy stood there, with a revolver in his hand. Instead of panicking, he told the newcomers that a man had just been murdered, and that the killer was still in a nearby room. The police rushed in the direction he indicated. Frankhy calmly walked away. For a time, he remained beyond the reach of the law. Eventually, however, his luck ran out. In March of the following year, police finally caught up with him. Frankhy refused to surrender without a fight. A violent confrontation followed, and 3 police officers were wounded. He was captured and this time sentenced to death. It seemed that his fate had finally been decided. Then came the strangest part of the story. A legal dispute broke out over what should happen to him first. Frankhy had been sentenced to death in San Francisco, but he still had most of his earlier 8-year New York sentence left to serve. Some lawyers and judges argued that he should first be returned to Sing Sing to complete that sentence before the execution could take place. Others argued that New York had the first legal claim to the prisoner. The case reached the higher courts. For the defense, the dispute offered hope that the execution might at least be delayed. But the judges remembered one important fact. Charles Frankhy had already escaped from Sing Sing once. They had no intention of giving him another opportunity. In the end, the legal dispute was resolved against him. Even a plea for clemency sent to President Herbert Hoover failed. After the long legal battle, the death sentence was carried out in San Francisco. And so ended the career of a man whom the American press described as one of the most dangerous criminals in the country. and whose notoriety was compared even to that of Al Capone. From bank robberies and a sudden fortune to Sing Sing, an extraordinary escape, a nationwide manhunt, and a bizarre legal battle over the order in which his punishments should be carried out. The story of Charles Frankhy sounded like the plot of a crime film, yet it appeared in newspapers more than 90 years ago. If you enjoyed this forgotten story from history, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more.